Stop right now. The shocking truth about your feet and your plate. What if I told you that the tingling in your feet, the kind that feels like 1,000 tiny pins pricking your skin, might be coming from the food you ate just hours ago? That's right, folks. Your feet might be screaming for help, and the culprit could be hiding in plain sight on your dinner plate. Imagine waking up to swollen, heavy feet, or feeling that annoying numbness that just won't quit. You've probably chalked it up to a long day or bad shoes, but what if it's something you're eating every single day? Even worse, what if the so-called healthy foods you trust are secretly sabotaging your circulation and nerves? Buckle up, because in this video, I'm about to blow the lid off 15 foods that could be making your feet feel like they're stuck in a nightmare, and 3 of them are vegetables you'd never suspect. I'm talking about everyday stuff you grab without a second thought. Bacon sizzling in the pan, that quick frozen pizza, or even a handful of spinach you thought was doing you good. But here's the kicker. These foods might be clogging your blood vessels, swelling your extremities, and leaving your nerves begging for mercy. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which 3 veggies are the sneakiest villains, and trust me, the last one is a total game changer that could be a ticking time bomb for your health. Don't go anywhere, because missing this could mean letting your feet suffer in silence. Hit that subscribe button right now and smack the like if you're ready to take control of your body. Let's dive in and uncover the shocking truth. Your feet will thank you for sticking around. Number 15, bacon. Picture this: the sizzle of bacon hitting the pan, that mouth-watering smell filling your kitchen. It's the ultimate breakfast temptation. But before you dig into those crispy strips, let me drop a bombshell. Bacon might be one of the worst enemies your feet have ever faced. Loaded with saturated fats and sodium, this tasty treat is a double whammy for your circulation. The excess salt makes your body cling to water like a sponge, swelling your feet and putting pressure on those tiny blood vessels trying to keep things flowing. Meanwhile, those saturated fats jack up your bad cholesterol, clogging arteries and turning your bloodstream into a sluggish mess. Ever wonder why your feet feel like lead after a bacon-heavy meal? This is why. For folks already battling numbness or tingling, bacon's a sneaky accelerator, quietly speeding up nerve damage and vascular woes. And here's the wild part. Frying it in oil just pours fuel on the fire, adding even more harmful fats to the equation. Your nerves and blood vessels don't stand a chance against this salty, fatty assault. But don't despair. Swapping it out for leaner proteins could lighten the load on your feet in ways you'd never expect. The crazy thing is, this is just the start of our list. Bacon's a fan favorite, but it's not alone in sabotaging your circulation. Stick around, because what's coming next might shock you even more. Some of these culprits are hiding in your fast food bag. Number 14, processed hamburgers. If bacon's frying pan assault on your feet left you stunned, wait until you hear about the next villain lurking in your drive-thru bag: processed hamburgers. These greasy giants, slung together in fast food joints and freezer aisles, aren't just a quick meal. They're a ticking time bomb for your circulation. Packed with trans fats, saturated fats, and a sodium payload that could sink a ship, they're practically engineered to inflame your body from the inside out. That tingling in your toes? It's not a coincidence. It's your nerves crying out as blood struggles to push past the chaos these burgers unleash. What makes them so sinister? The trans fats jack up your bad cholesterol while slashing the good kind, turning your arteries into a clogged highway where blood can barely crawl to your feet. Add in the sodium overload, and you've got fluid retention swelling your extremities like balloons. Ever felt that tight, heavy ache after a burger binge? That's the proof. Plus, the chemical additives and preservatives tossed in for shelf life don't just keep the patty fresh. They spark silent inflammation that keeps your tingling on repeat. The wild twist? You're eating this thinking it's just a harmless snack. But here's a lifeline. Whip up a homemade version with lean meat and fresh toppings, and you'll dodge this disaster. The scariest part's still ahead, though. Our next culprit's a frozen favorite that'll make you rethink your lazy dinners. Number 13, frozen pizza. After those processed hamburgers turned your fast food dreams into a circulatory nightmare, Let's step into the freezer aisle where a sneaky suspect awaits: frozen pizza. You pop it in the oven thinking it's a guilt-free cheat meal, but this convenience king is secretly plotting against your feet. Loaded with sodium, saturated fats, and preservatives, it's a triple threat that transforms your blood vessels into a battleground. That post-pizza puffiness in your feet isn't just your imagination. It's your body drowning in salt, holding onto water like a life raft, and leaving your toes tingling in distress. The sodium alone can blow past your daily limit in one slice, jacking up blood pressure and choking off circulation to your extremities. Then come the saturated fats from cheap cheese and dough, piling up cholesterol like traffic on a jammed freeway. Your feet don't get the oxygen they need, and numbness creeps in. But here's the jaw dropper. Those preservatives keeping your pizza fresh spark inflammation that lingers, quietly frying your peripheral nerves. Ever felt that heavy, swollen slog after a late-night slice? That's the evidence staring you down. The good news? You can still enjoy pizza, make it fresh with whole-grain dough and lean toppings to sidestep this frozen fiend. But brace yourself, because the next item on our list is a pantry staple so salty it'll make your feet wish they could run away. Number 12. Instant soups. While frozen pizza's sodium ambush might have you rethinking your dinner plans, there's a stealthier saboteur hiding in your pantry. Instant soups. These little packets promise warmth and comfort in minutes, but they're secretly flooding your body with a salty tsunami that wreaks havoc on your feet. One serving can pack more sodium than you should have all day, triggering fluid retention that swells your extremities like overfilled water balloons. That tingling you feel? It's your blood struggling to squeeze through vessels under siege from the salty overload, leaving your toes numb and desperate for relief. But the betrayal doesn't stop there. These soups are spiked with chemical additives and preservatives that keep them shelf-stable. Great for convenience, terrible for your nerves. These compounds ignite silent inflammation, turning your body into a slow-burning furnace that fries circulation and amps up neuropathy. What's wilder? They're nutritional ghosts, offering empty calories that do nothing but burden your kidneys and liver, piling on more swelling. If your feet already feel like they're buzzing or heavy, this quick fix could be pushing them over the edge. The upside? Ditch the packet and simmer a homemade broth with fresh herbs. Your feet will feel the difference fast. Buckle up, though. The next culprit's a sweet temptation, so deceptive you'll wonder how something so delicious could be so dangerous for your tingling toes. Number 11. Ready-made cakes and cake mixes. Just when you thought instant soups had cornered the market on sneaky sodium attacks, here comes a sweet twist that'll catch you off guard. Ready-made cakes and cake mixes. These fluffy delights might smell like heaven fresh from the oven, but they're a sugary trap for your feet. Packed with refined sugars and hydrogenated fats, they send your blood glucose into a wild spike, damaging blood vessels over time and choking off circulation to your extremities. That numbness creeping up your toes? It's no accident. It's your body paying the price for this dessert disaster. The real shocker? Those hydrogenated fats don't just pile on the pounds. They crank up bad cholesterol while tanking the good, leaving your arteries narrower than a straw. Add in a cocktail of preservatives and artificial flavorings, and you've got inflammation simmering under the surface, zapping your peripheral nerves and making tingling a daily guest. You'd think a quick cake mix would be harmless fun, but it's a slow burn towards swollen, heavy feet. The fix is simpler than you'd guess. Whip up a homemade batch with whole grains and less sugar, and your circulation stays in the clear. Here's the kicker. We're not done with the sweet stuff yet. The next villain's a crispy crowd pleaser that'll have you questioning every snack you've ever loved. Your feet are in for a wild ride. Number 10. Industrial French fries. If ready-made cakes lured you into a sugary ambush, brace yourself for a salty, crunchy bombshell. Industrial French fries. These golden sticks of joy might be your go-to snack at parties or late-night cravings, but they're quietly frying your feet's future. Drenched in low-quality oils and buried under a sodium avalanche, they're a 1-2 punch of trans fats and salt that turns your bloodstream into a sluggish swamp. That post-fry swell in your feet isn't just a fluke. It's fluid retention kicking in, pressing on nerves and leaving you with that maddening tingle you can't shake. Here's where it gets insane. Those oils they're cooked in, reheated over and over, they churn out toxic compounds that inflame your whole system, torching circulation and making numbness a regular visitor. The salt doesn't mess around either. It bloats your extremities, forcing blood vessels to work overtime just to keep up. You're munching on what feels like a harmless treat, but your feet are begging for mercy. Want a way out? Toss those greasy bags and bake your own with a drizzle of olive oil. Same crunch, zero chaos. The real mind blower? We're inching closer to some shocking reveals, and the next culprit's a sugary fiend, so innocent looking you'll wonder how it ever made it onto your danger radar. Stay tuned, because your toes are counting on it. Number 9, candies and processed sweets. While industrial French fries might have you dodging greasy traps at snack time, let's pivot to a sugary siren call that's even harder to resist: candies and processed sweets. These colorful little devils wink at you from checkout lines and candy jars, promising a quick burst of joy, but they're secretly staging a hostile takeover of your feet. Brimming with refined sugars and chemical additives, they send your blood glucose soaring like a rocket, crashing into your blood vessels and leaving circulation in ruins. That prickly sensation in your toes, it's the fallout from this sweet sabotage. The insanity doesn't end with sugar spikes. Those artificial colorings and preservatives aren't just for show. They inflame your body, scrambling nerve signals and turning tingling into a daily torment. For anyone prone to neuropathy, or heaven forbid, diabetes, this candy crush could fast-track nerve damage, making your feet feel like they're buzzing on a live wire. You're popping these treats as a reward, but they're punishing your system instead. Here's the escape hatch. Swap them for fresh fruit or a square of dark chocolate. Sweetness without the sting. The wildest twist is yet to come, though. We're about to crack open a fizzy favorite that's so common, you'll be stunned to learn it's got your feet in its carbonated crosshairs. Keep listening, because this one's a real bubble burster. Number 8, regular and diet soda. If candies and processed sweets just jolted you with their sugary betrayal, get ready to pour out some hard truth about a bubbly companion: regular and diet soda. These fizzy drinks might quench your thirst on a hot day, but they're secretly fizzing up trouble for your feet. Regular soda slams you with sugar, way more than your daily limit in one can, spiking your blood glucose and hammering your blood vessels until circulation slows to a crawl. That numbness creeping into your toes after a soda binge? It's your body waving a white flag. But hold up, diet soda's not off the hook either. Those artificial sweeteners like aspartame might sound like a smart swap, but they're a wolf in sheep's clothing. They trick your brain, spark inflammation, and mess with nerve function, making tingling a frequent flyer. Studies even hint they throw your glucose regulation into chaos, setting the stage for long-term trouble. Whether it's sugar or fake sugar, soda's acids team up to erode your vascular health, leaving your feet starved for oxygen. You're sipping these thinking they're harmless refreshers, but they're a slow poison for your extremities. Ditch the can for water or herbal tea. Your feet will feel lighter than ever. The real shock's and still brewing, though. Our next suspect's a boozy staple, so chill, you'll never guess it's warming up your foot woes in the worst way. Number 7, beer. While soda's bubbly betrayal might have you rethinking your drink choices, let's crack open a cold one that's even more deceptive: beer. This frothy icon of relaxation might feel like a reward after a long day, but it's secretly pouring trouble straight into your feet. Alcohol's the mastermind here. It dilates your blood vessels at first, giving you that warm buzz, only to slam them shut later in a brutal rebound. That's when circulation tanks and your feet start swelling and tingling like they're staging a protest. It's a roller coaster your nerves didn't sign up for. The plot thickens. Frequent beer guzzling can fry your peripheral nerves over time, a condition called alcoholic neuropathy that leaves you with burning sensations and muscle weakness. Add in the carbs and sugars pumping up your blood glucose, and you've got a recipe for sluggish flow that starves your extremities. Here's the crazy part: beer dehydrates you too, thickening your blood and making it harder to reach your toes. That casual brew with friends, it's a sneaky saboteur. Swap it for a non-alcoholic option or sip sparingly with water on the side to dodge the damage. Buckle up because the next stop on this wild ride is a creamy classic so comforting you'll be floored to find out it's got your feet begging for a break. Number 6. Milk chocolate beer might have just tapped out your trust in happy hour, but now let's unwrap a treat that's even cozier and deadlier for your feet. Milk chocolate. This velvety indulgence feels like a hug in edible form, but it's a Trojan horse loaded with sugars and saturated fats ready to ambush your circulation. That sugar rush? It's a blood glucose spike that slams your vessels, slowing the flow to your extremities until your toes tingle like they're short-circuiting. Meanwhile, the saturated fats pile on bad cholesterol, building fatty plaques that turn your arteries into bottlenecks. Your feet barely get a trickle of what they need. Here's the jaw-dropping twist. One innocent bar can tip you into overdrive, especially if you're the type to sneak just one more piece until it's gone. That's when inflammation joins the party, torching your nerves and making numbness a frequent flyer. You're savoring sweetness, but your feet are suffocating. The kicker? Not all chocolate's a villain. Dark chocolate with high cocoa can actually help if you keep it light. Milk chocolate, though, it's a circulatory con artist. Trade it for a healthier nibble, and you'll feel the relief fast. The wild ride's far from over. Next up is a pantry basic, so every day you'll be stunned to learn it's kneading your foot woes into something way worse. Number 5. White and refined breads. Milk chocolate's creamy deception might have left your sweet tooth reeling, but let's slice into a staple that's a daily ritual for millions. White and refined breads. That soft, fluffy loaf or crusty baguette might seem like a harmless sidekick to your meals, but it's a silent assassin for your feet. Stripped of fiber and nutrients, these breads hit your bloodstream like a sugar bomb, spiking glucose and inflaming your body from the inside out. That prickly buzz in your toes after a sandwich? It's your circulation choking on the fallout as vessels take a beating. Without fiber to slow things down, your insulin surges, quietly eroding blood flow and leaving your extremities swollen and numb. The shocker here? This isn't some rare indulgence. It's the stuff you grab for toast or PB&J every day, thinking it's no big deal. But over time, it's paving the way for neuropathy, making your feet feel like they're walking on pins. You can outsmart it, though. Switch to whole grain breads with seeds and fiber, and your blood stays steady while your feet breathe easy. The craziest part's still ahead. Our next contender's a frozen delight so refreshing, you'll be floored to find out it's turning your summer treat into a circulatory catastrophe. Number 4, industrial ice cream's white bread might have you second-guessing your morning toast. But let's scoop up a chilling surprise that's just as sinister. Industrial ice creams. On a scorching day, that creamy swirl feels like a slice of paradise, but it's a frosty fiend plotting against your feet. Packed with refined sugars, trans fats, and a rainbow of chemical additives, this treat sends your blood sugar soaring, hammering your vessels until circulation stalls. That heavy, tingly sensation in your toes after a bowl? It's not the cold, it's your body buckling under the sugary onslaught. The real chill factor? Those trans fats clog your arteries with cholesterol plaques, while the cold itself shrinks your blood vessels, doubling down on the damage. Add in artificial colorings that spark inflammation, and your nerves are left buzzing like a live wire. You're licking away, thinking it's all fun and games, but your feet are freezing out in more ways than one. Here's the scoop. Homemade versions with fruit and yogurt can satisfy your cravings without the chaos. The wildest twist is still coming, though. We're about to unearth 3 veggies so healthy, you'll be stunned to learn they're the top culprits behind your foot woes. Get ready because this trio's about to flip everything you thought you knew. Number 3, spinach industrial ice creams just froze you with their creamy treachery. But now let's dig into a green giant that's been hiding in your salad bowl. Spinach. Touted as a superfood packed with iron and vitamins, this leafy hero seems like a no-brainer for health, until it turns on your feet. The secret weapon? Oxalates, nasty little compounds that latch onto calcium, forming crystals that gum up your circulation and bog down your kidneys. That swelling and tingling in your toes after a spinach-heavy meal? It's your body sounding the alarm as fluid piles up, pressing on nerves like a vice. Here's the mind bender. For some, spinach's oxalate overload can spark retention so bad your feet feel like waterlogged sponges. And if you're on blood thinners, its vitamin K can meddle with your meds, making blood clumpier and harder to flow. You're munching this health food, thinking you're winning, but it's quietly stacking the deck against your extremities. Don't panic. Cooking it slashes those oxalates, and moderation keeps it in check. The real gasp-worthy reveal? This is just the start of our veggie villains. Two more good guys are waiting to shock you with their sneaky sabotage. Hang tight because the next one's a cruciferous curveball you'd never suspect. Number 2, broccoli spinach might have just blindsided you with its leafy double cross, but let's stalk over to a veggie that's practically a poster child for clean eating. Broccoli. This green powerhouse struts its stuff with fiber, vitamins, and minerals. But don't let its halo fool you. It's got a dark side for your feet. The hidden sting? A hefty dose of vitamin K that can throw a wrench into your blood's flow if you're on anticoagulants. Too much, and it nudges your blood to clot, slowing circulation until your toes swell and tingle like they're stuck in traffic. But wait, there's more madness. Broccoli's got goitrogens, compounds that, in excess, mess with your thyroid, throwing your metabolism and blood flow into a tailspin. Picture your vessels as highways. Clots and chaos turn them into gridlock, leaving your feet starved for oxygen. Raw and overdone, it can even bloat you up, pressing nerves until numbness takes over. You're steaming this miracle food daily, thinking it's a win, but it might be piling on the pounds in all the wrong ways. Ease up, mix it with other greens, and cook it right to tame its wild side. The ultimate shocker's still lurking, though. Our top veggie villains so nutrient-packed you'll be floored, it's the worst of them all. Number 1, Swiss chard broccoli's clot-thickening curveball might have you eyeing your greens suspiciously, but hold on to your forks. Swiss chard's storming in as the ultimate veggie villain for your feet. This leafy titan flexes its nutrient cred with vitamins A, C, K, and a mineral lineup that screams, "Eat me." But it's hiding a sinister edge. Oxalates strike again, binding calcium into crystals that clog your circulation like a dam, piling up fluid until your feet swell and tingle like they're drowning. It's the king of retention, turning your extremities into puffy prisoners of your plate. The bombshell? That vitamin K overload doubles down, meddling with blood thinners and nudging clots to form. Your blood's a sluggish river, barely reaching your toes. Raw, it's a bloating beast, pressing nerves into a numb frenzy. You're tossing it into smoothies or stir-fries, smug about your health game, but it's the sneakiest saboteur yet, more dangerous than spinach or broccoli combined. From bacon's fatty blitz to this superfood shocker, the pattern's clear. Even the good guys can betray you. Cook it to cut the oxalates and mix up your greens to dodge the worst. Your feet deserve that mercy. This leafy tyrant tops our list for a reason. It's a delicious disaster you'll never see coming. Well, folks, we've just peeled back the curtain on a wild lineup. 15 foods that could be turning your feet into a tingling, swollen mess, capped off by the jaw-dropping trio of spinach, broccoli, and Swiss chard. Who'd have thought that bacon's sizzling charm or a healthy handful of greens could be secretly plotting against your circulation? From the sodium-soaked chaos of instant soups to the sugary sabotage of milk chocolate, and now these veggie villains flexing their oxalate and vitamin K muscles, it's clear. What's on your plate can make or break your feet. Your body's been sending SOS signals, numbness, tingling, that heavy ache, and it's time we listen. This isn't just a list, it's a wake-up call. Pay attention, because here's where it gets real. You've got the power to flip the script. Let's break it down. You don't need to ban these foods outright. Moderation's the name of the game. Cook that spinach or Swiss chard to tame those oxalates, ease up on the broccoli if you're on blood thinners, and ditch the processed junk for homemade wins. Swap bacon for lean protein, trade soda for water, and bake your fries instead of frying them in greasy doom. Small tweaks, massive payoffs. Your feet will feel lighter, your nerves will thank you, and that tingling, it'll be a distant memory. Personally, I think it's wild how the stuff we've been told is good can backfire so hard. It's not about deprivation, it's about outsmarting the traps hiding in our kitchens. Here's my 2 cents, your health's worth it. You've stuck with me through this roller coaster, and I'm betting you're fired up to take control. So let's make it official. Hit that subscribe button right now and join the crew getting the best tips to live better. Smash that. Like if this blew your mind, and drop a comment. Which of these shocked you most? Bacon? Swiss chard? I read every single one, so let's chat. Oh, and don't miss what's popping up on your screen. My next video, 10 foods to supercharge your muscles before it's too late. Click it, because your body's begging for more game changers like this. In the big picture, this is about more than just feet. It's about how we've been blindsided by everyday eats. We're not victims here. We're the bosses of our plates. So take this knowledge, run with it, and kick those foot woes to the curb. You've got this, and I'm here cheering you on. See you in the next one.